When your mother works all day and you've been at home watching TV, when your mother comes home, if she wants to see something on television in her house, that remote goes to her hand and she watches what she wants to watch. Ruling is in.
She said she was in a sexual relationship. That's one. She had the baby and tagged the dude's name in the picture. If the baby mom, why didn't you tag me in the picture? She tagged another guy and say she doesn't know who the guy is. But why the picture still stayed on your Facebook? And my family had to tell me, oh, you know she tagged another dude's name in the picture. I got evidence for that too.
The case kicks off with Miss Capples claiming Mr. Harris is the father of her son and wants him to sign the birth certificate. Meanwhile, his girlfriend is right there, and Mr. Harris denies everything, demanding a DNA test. This drama is heating up fast, and it's only going to get hotter.
Ms. Capples, you say you are 100% certain that the defendant is your 15-month-old son, Jason's biological father, and today he's going to put his name on the dotted line right in front of his girlfriend.
Miss Capples says their relationship was just hookups, and she blames his girlfriend for making him deny the baby. Mr. Harris insists it's not his, and everyone's just dodging responsibility. Just when it seems clear, Mr. Harris drops a strange twist.
To be completely honest, Your Honor, me and Mr. Harris, we were never in a relationship. Let's clarify that now. We were just
sleeping together.
That's pretty much it.
Were you in another relationship?
No, I was not, no.
I wasn't.
You find out you're pregnant. Obviously, you weren't using protection if there's a question that he's the biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Things turn confusing when Mr. Harris admits he heard about the pregnancy, but then didn't hear from Miss Capples for months. He says he started doubting when she dated someone else while pregnant. It's all a blame game, and Miss Capples is ready to show some evidence.
She texted me and told me she was pregnant. Then she disappeared for months.
When she texted you and said, I'm pregnant, what did you think? Are you now with Miss Mayfield in a relationship?
That's when I had got with her in a relationship.
She was around 5 months.
She got jealous of what me and...
What is there to be jealous about? I don't care about you guys being
Miss Mayfield.
Yes,
so go
Sit her
ahead.
down.
Miss Capples brings out a calendar to prove her timeline matches her pregnancy with Mr. Harris. He's confident, but Mr. Harris is still uncertain if he was even with her. It's a mess, and just when things seem clear, it gets more ridiculous.
As you can see, my son Jason was born January 9, 2016. Me and Mr. Harris were intimate for 9 months, all the way up the beginning of May. We started talking around September, Mr. Harris. Like I said, all the way up until the beginning of May. If you go back 9 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, bring you to April, and this is the window of conception where my son was born.
Mr. Harris admits he was with multiple women and didn't even know Miss Capples' real name. Miss Capples denies seeing others, but the situation is chaos. It's impossible to look away, especially as they argue about who showed up when the baby was born.
Were you involved with more than one man?
No, I was not, and he did not tell me that he was dealing with other women while me and him were talking. So I did not know that he was playing the
Men usually don't tell you. They want to keep
She went through my phone, text other women back.
Cut me off.
Yeah, that's the time y'all stopped talking. I know, boo. I know the whole story.
I'm sure you do, because you were there, right? And you were there when he was...
You don't even know your real name.
You were.
Miss Capples says Mr. Harris didn't come to the hospital because he was at work. He showed up the next day, but claimed the baby didn't look like him. Things are awkward, and there's a twist about who else was there that's coming up.
Did he get to come to the delivery room?
He didn't have a ride, Your Honor.
I was at the work when she delivered the baby. The next morning, I came up there. When I looked at him, he didn't look like me at all. I had been here at my doubts, but like I say, everybody around town says that she goes around saying it's another guy's baby.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
No, I did not.
Because you did not want to, or you were not even asked to?
Both. I wasn't asked. I had my doubts.
Miss Mayfield, Mr. Harris's girlfriend, was the nurse in the delivery room when Miss Capples was giving birth. Miss Capples says she was spying, but Miss Mayfield says she was just doing her job. The tension is intense, and now the fight's about visitation rights.
What is this about the hospital room, Miss Kate?
I'm undergoing surgery, getting ready to have my tubes tied.
That is my job.
As a woman, I would not want to be in a room with a woman that's having my boyfriend's baby.
Okay, so you were the patient.
You work at the hospital, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then that was where they told you your station or where you were supposed to be? You were assigned to that?
Today, we got our stuff to do. Yes, ma'am.
Miss Capples lets Mr. Harris's family see Jason, but keeps him away from Mr. Harris. He and Miss Mayfield are upset, saying she's doing it on purpose. It's pure chaos, all leading to the DNA results.
Miss Caples, you're letting his family members see the baby?
I was close with his sister.
I like to go out all the time.
I don't
That's the
go
only
out.
reason.
What are you
Because you could
talking about?
easily give in to him when he did. He don't have to
would be
drive
out
somewhere.
too. You
don't
would
have
home
to
with the kids. What you
Right.
talking
No,
about?
he don't.
All right, one at a time, one at a time, ladies. Ooh-wee.
The DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Harris, you are not the father.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
didn't sleep with no one else.
Judge Lake introduces Poyer versus Poyer, with a mom suing her son for $5,000 in unpaid rent. She says he needs to grow up, while he claims she treats him like a servant. This is going to be a wild ride. Brace yourself for some intense arguments.
Ms. Poyer, you have brought your son to court today and you are suing him for $5,000 in unpaid rent and utility bills. You say in your statement that you feel it is time for him to start acting like a man before he becomes a father. You are here today to make him face his responsibilities as an adult.
Ms. Poyer calls her son lazy, and he fires back, accusing her of making him do everything. Their insults are sharper than a comedy roast, and Judge Lake steps in to settle things with her no-nonsense approach.
My son, he's lazy. I'm your mother. I try to do the best that I can for you. You cannot just want to lay around, not want to do anything, not want to help me, take care of the household, or help me pay any bills. You cannot talk to me like I'm one of your friends in the street.
How you say it, but she's the total last person that should even be saying something like that.
Ms. Poyer wants control of the TV after a long day, but her son disagrees. Judge Lake's swift ruling is like a mic drop, but they're not done yet. Things are about to get messier.
When your mother works all day and you've been at home watching TV, when your mother comes home, if she wants to see something on television in her house, that remote goes to her hand and she watches what she wants to watch. Ruling is in.
Ms. Poyer worries her son will mess up his life like she did, but her delivery is harsh. Emotions are high, and the conversation turns into a heated argument about money.
Ryan, to keep making some of the same mistakes that I made, I got high. I ran the street. But there comes a point in your life when it's time to say enough. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 5 o'clock, be in the house at 10 o'clock. No, you want to come in here ringing my doorbell 1 o'clock in the morning. That's disrespectful. I get, 2 hours sleep?
Ms. Poyer presents receipts showing her son's minimal payments, while he insists he's doing his best. The argument escalates into a math fight, and neither side seems to have the numbers right.
All I want is for my child just to grow up. But then it was time to come in here. Mom, I didn't get paid this, that, and the other. But yet still, you going in there to find your little roll-up to do your business.
You say he did not contribute. You say you have cable bills.
I have cable bill. I have rent.
Ms. Poyer claims her son only worked for 2 weeks, while he insists it was 3 months. The back and forth feels like a ping-pong match, and a witness is about to make things even wilder.
How long did he work this job?
2.5 weeks.
Did you just say 2.5
weeks? You don't get a seasonal job for 2.5 weeks. When you work at a store for a season, that season is always 2 months and longer. I don't know where she got 2.5 weeks from. If you can find me a job that's going to hire me in the store for 2.5 weeks.
How long did you work this job where you were supposed to pay her $50 a week?
I was at this job for almost 3 months before the season ended.
Ms. Poyer's sister Natasha adds fuel to the fire, calling out the son's habits and blaming his girlfriend. It's chaotic, especially with judgments based on nail polish. It's drama mixed with comedy gold.
My main concern, the reason why I'm here, is because he going out smoking marijuana. He jumping turnstiles, getting arrested. Stupid stuff like that.
The worst thing I've ever done was smoke weed and hop a turnstile when I was 17. Leave it alone. Let it die already.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Smoking marijuana, that doesn't go out of your system right away. So how are you going to get a job if your system is dirty?
Ms. Luciano steps in, claiming she and Mr. Poyer work and contribute equally. The family isn't convinced, and it's a show me the receipts moment as things get even more heated.
We work at the same place.
You do?
Where?
Tell me where.
I work at a marketing
Show me a pay stub.
I have many of pay stubs.
Where's your W-2?
I got my W-2.
I don't even need to be up here. She just turned it to
We both pay rent together because
I
have a yes, I do in Chase. We go to Chase and I'll show you my.
Finally, some calm. Judge Lake praises Mr. Poyer for improving his life and reminds everyone about family support. Both sides begin to listen. The emotional tension is far from over.
Suddenly you begin to live up to your potential. You get a job. You begin to get money paid regularly. Well, what your mother is saying is, why couldn't you do that to help me? And you're doing what you should be doing. And Mom, for that, you have to at least say, this is a good thing.
Mr. Poyer apologizes to his mom for the disrespect, and she breaks down, expressing how much she misses him. It feels like a turning point, but one big decision still looms.
Love you, I love you. I miss laughing with you. I miss crying with you. You know how I used to play with your ear? I miss all of that. May I hug him, please?
You absolutely can.
Do you remember that? This is what I most remember. Give me some nose.
Oh, yes.
This story's got it all. 2 boyfriends, a baby, and a lot of drama. Ms. Harris is stuck between her current boyfriend, Mr. Murray, and her ex, Mr. Donaldson, who both might be her daughter Anaya's dad. The goal? Figure out who's actually the father. Spoiler, this is just the beginning. Things are about to get way more chaotic.
Ms. Harris, you have been caught in a love triangle. There are 2 men in court today claiming to have fathered your 18-month-old daughter, Anaya. Your current boyfriend, the plaintiff, Mr. Murray, and the defendant, your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Donaldson.
Ms. Harris describes how things with Mr. Donaldson went downhill fast. When she got pregnant, he doubted her, then fell for someone else. He barely showed up for any of the baby stuff. Then, just when the drama seemed done, his family jumped in to make it even messier.
From my understanding, we was dating. But then when I got pregnant, he told me he had feelings for another girl. He told me that he didn't want to be with me. So I was basically alone during my pregnancy. He was there during the baby shower. He came to the hospital with his mom when I had her.
So wait, you're dating Mr. Donaldson, you're in a relationship. You all are boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah, we were.
Mr. Donaldson's mom was on board with being a grandma until she saw Mr. Murray with the baby. Suddenly, the family pulled away, leaving Ms. Harris to deal with it alone. But things get even weirder when Mr. Murray gets dragged into this train wreck.
I did not find out about it until she was about 5 months, maybe. When he told me about it, I accepted that he was, because that's what Chastity stated, that he was the dad.
At what point, Mr. Donaldson, did you say, Mom, I have something I have to tell you?
I didn't even tell her, honestly. I told my father, and my father told her.
That works too when you're scared to tell Mom.
Mr. Murray found out he might be a dad through a message from Mr. Donaldson. He says they used protection, but Ms. Harris disagrees. Despite the confusion, Mr. Murray stepped up when Anaya was 3 months old. Then, Ms. Harris mentioned a threesome, and now no one knows who the dad could be.
So, Mr. Murray, why do you believe you could be the biological father of this child?
One day I was on Facebook and I got a message, Jalen. He told me that the baby could possibly be mine.
Telling you that the baby could possibly be yours?
Yeah, I need to get a DNA test.
You sent him that message, Mr. Donaldson?
I don't recall. I'm not gonna say yes, I'm not gonna say no. I don't recall.
The timeline is a mess. Ms. Harris says it lines up with Mr. Donaldson being the dad, but admits she was also with Mr. Murray. Oh, and there was a threesome in December. No one seems to remember who used protection, so the court is left trying to make sense of it all. It's like a soap opera gone wrong.
You said your doctor told you your date of conception was around February the 10th.
Yes.
Anaya was born on October 21st, when you were intimate with Mr. Donaldson.
Beginning of February and the end of February, and then we stopped.
So the beginning of January, around here, the beginning of February with Mr. Donaldson?
Yes.
DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Murray, you are not the father.
That's okay. That's okay. That's still your baby.
This is like a reality show gone wild. Mr. Harvey says he spent $496.52 on baby supplies for a kid he doubts is his, claiming they met on a dating app. And boom, she's pregnant in 2 weeks. Ms. Jett wants a paternity test to shut him up. And trust me, it only gets messier from here.
Mr. Harvey, you are asking the court to award you $496.52 for baby supplies you say the defendant, Ms. Jett, demanded for a child you adamantly deny is yours.
The speed of this relationship could give anyone whiplash. They met, moved in, and she got pregnant all in a month. Now, they're fighting over cheating accusations, baby stuff, and even Facebook drama.
So you meet each other, move in together, and get pregnant all within a month?
Yes.
Find out you're pregnant, you tell Mr. Harvey.
And he was so happy.
You were happy when you heard the news?
I was happy.
Because you thought it was your child?
Yes. After she found out she was pregnant, we stopped talking. She moved back to Orlando. She wrote.
Because he was so sexually active with other women. He was cheating on me.
Watching them argue over receipts was like kids fighting over cookies. Mr. Harvey shows $500 in baby expenses, while Ms. Jett complains it took forever for him to buy it. The judge starts grilling them, and it's clear neither of them is backing down.
And this is all before the baby's born?
Yes, but
then you responded back.
Okay.
It took him months and months to buy this stuff. I've been asked him for this. I begged for him to buy this stuff.
Is a receipt?
A receipt, and I spent
that I
close
see
to $500 on everything.
A pack and play.
Supposed to
what you get.
A pump, bottle scrubber, bedtime wash.
Mr. Harvey's doubts are fueled by a Facebook tag. She tagged another guy in a photo of the baby, and he's wondering why it wasn't him. She says it was an accident, but trust me, it's about to get even crazier.
And she said she was in a sexual relationship. That's one. She had the baby and tagged the dude name in the picture. If the baby mom, why didn't you tag me in the picture? She tagged another guy and say she doesn't know who the guy is. Well, why the picture still stayed on your Facebook? And my family had to tell me, oh, you know she tagged another dude name in the picture. I got evidence for that too.
The petty fight over money goes to the next level. Ms. Jett claims she paid more for baby stuff, while Mr. Harvey says she's using government assistance. The judge steps in as they argue like it's a ping pong match.
Here's all the expenses that I've been taking care for of my daughter alone. He's suing me for $500. Her diapers is a little less than what he's suing me for, but her diapers are close to what you're suing me for. Her diapers is dang near that money, $500.
Every time you needed diapers, whenever you needed something, every time she called me, I gave it to her, Your Honor.
Mr. Harvey says she asked another guy to pay for an abortion. She denies it, but he insists he saw the text. The judge struggles to keep order as the tension skyrockets.
After she had the baby, she was trying to get pregnant again. She told me she was pregnant or whatever, so I went and got her and stuff like that. And then she had started going through my phone. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go through your phone too. So I go through her phone, right? She telling this dude, she said, you need to pay for this abortion.
No, I didn't.
And the whole time she was never pregnant. She told me she was pregnant for me, and then she telling some other dude he need to pay for abortion.
Mr. Harvey's aunt comes in, doubting the baby is theirs, because it doesn't look like the family. She's confident it's not their kid, and the judge isn't so sure. Things are about to get even more dramatic when Ms. Jett's mom arrives.
Looking at my nephew's other children, we have strong genes. And all his brothers look alike, his brother's kids look alike.
And I have
they have the same heads, and our family have big eyes. Xavier and Xavier's family. His children look just alike from different moms. Everybody looks like the Harveys or the Highsmiths. Baby has no genes of us at all. Head shape or anything.
Me, I have strong genes.
Well, that's my opinion.
Ms. Jett's mom says Mr. Harvey promised to care for the baby, and now he's backing out. She's upset, and tensions between families escalate. Mr. Harvey then reveals another shocking reason for walking away.
He called me and told me that Shadasia was pregnant.
I didn't meet.
No, he hadn't met me, but you called me and told me my daughter is pregnant and how I shouldn't worry about you leaving.
I did not know Kim until after the baby was born.
No, you didn't know me.
I didn't know her. I did not know her until after the baby was born.
Mr. Harvey claims he felt unsafe after Ms. Jett threatened him. He says he'll support the baby if it's his, but won't risk it until then. The judge says it's time for a paternity test. Get ready for the results.
I lost my job because I was supposed to go to work that morning, and I came over there. We wasn't even talking. She was in a relationship our whole pregnancy. Called me and said, I'm having a baby. I didn't go to work and got fired. After she had the baby, that's when I got to know her. She is not the person that...
Why would you be with somebody that you don't know?
Because the child, I want to be in a child's life, and if that child mine, I want to be in a child's life.
The DNA test is in.
Pertaining to 4-month-old Nolani Harvey. Mr. Harvey, you are not her father.
It's fine. That's fine.
This kicks off like a messy movie. Fewer heroes, more drama. Ms. Narissa Moffett wants a paternity test to see if Mr. Johnson is her real dad. 2 years ago, some guy slid into her Facebook inbox saying, hey, I'm your real dad. Mr. Johnson's reaction? Hold up, this is wild. He blames Narissa's mom for making things confusing back in the day. Buckle up, it's gonna get wilder.
Ms. Moffett, you always believed the defendant was your dad until 2 years ago when you received a message from a man claiming to be your biological father. You are tired of the confusion and are petitioning the court for a paternity test to prove the defendant is your dad.
Narissa gets a random Facebook message from a guy claiming to be her dad, complete with a baby pic. She's like, wait, what? She calls him, but instead of clearing things up, it just makes her need answers even more. The drama is only getting started. Who's this mystery dad, really?
2 years ago, he inboxed me on Facebook, was saying that I'm his child, and when I'm looking like, I don't know. And then he had sent me a picture of me when I was like, he was saying that I'm his child and I have 2 other siblings.
I can see you're still shocked.
Yeah.
The message reads, hi, this is Lawrence Saunders. Call me because you is my daughter and I've been looking for you.
Mr. Johnson has major doubts. He says there were 2 other guys around when Ms. Moffett was pregnant. Their relationship was basically a secret, sneaking around like teenagers. This is giving serious who's the daddy energy, and it's just heating up.
Me and 2 more other guys was, at the time was dealing with Ms. Moffett. I just had doubts that I was her biological father at the time when she was little. I didn't know. I really didn't. I didn't know if I was the father or not, so.
Ms. Moffitt reveals she slept with both Mr. Johnson and Mr. Saunders on the same day. Yup, both men could be Nerissa's dad, but she thought Mr. Johnson was a better fit. Everyone's confused, especially the courtroom, and they're about to hear even crazier details.
I wasn't sure who was the father because, see, Mr. Johnson, and at that time Mr. Johnson was at work, so I stayed around till he get off work. I had went to one of my friend houses named Mr. Saunders, which I was dating. Basically, I ended up having sex with him that day and Mr. Johnson at the same time. So that's why I'm not sure.
Ms. Moffitt admits she kept the two-dad situation from Nerissa her entire life. Nerissa only found out 3 years ago and is understandably upset. Her mom says she didn't want to hurt her, but that ship has sailed. Things are about to get even messier.
But Nerissa testified that it was just 2 years ago that she was told that there was another possibility. But you didn't tell your daughter.
No, Your Honor.
But you're not telling your daughter that 2 men could possibly be the father.
I told her, that it could be a possibility. No.
When did she tell you this, Miss Moffitt?
2 years ago. But I just want to get this over with.
Nerissa got really sick and called for her dad, Mr. Johnson. He stayed with her for 3 nights, while Mr. Saunders, the other maybe dad, was nowhere to be found. This is straight out of a soap opera, and the courtroom is hooked on every word.
I stayed out of it until Rissa got real sick. Went to the hospital and spent time with her. I said to myself, man, this child is laying up here fighting for her life, really who her father was, and she said she wanted her father there. And he told me, he said, Ron, you need to get to Indiana as soon as possible. We don't know if Rissa gonna be much around here much more long.
The moment everyone's been waiting for.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Johnson, you are her father.
This kicks off awkward right from the start. Ms. Fisher claims Mr. Stewart is her baby's dad, but he's not so sure. Stewart says she had options back then, and he's not convinced. The judge already looks tired, and we're just getting started.
Ms. Fisher, you're here to prove that Mr. Stewart is your daughter Kalia's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You state that your daughter has a serious medical condition, and it is imperative that you know the father's medical history.
Ms. Fisher is certain Stewart's the dad because they were hooking up when her daughter was conceived. She admits they weren't always careful. Yikes. And says Stewart denied it when she got pregnant. She's here for her kid's sake, but you know this story's got more drama ahead.
Why do you believe he is the biological father?
Because at the time my baby was conceived, that's who I was having sexual relations with.
It was just a sexual relationship, Your Honor.
Did you use protection?
The first few times, yes. A week after we started messing around, she come out and she showed me a pregnancy test. I'm like, it's not my baby.
So a week after you all started having a sexual relationship, she brings you a pregnancy test and says she's pregnant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wait, they're still hooking up? Stewart says he was over at her place just last week because he was bored. Fisher's fed up with his excuses, and the judge is too, especially when another guy gets thrown into the mix.
After this is over, did the relationship continue?
Yes, he was just at my house like a week and a half ago.
I got bored. I got bored,
When you get bored, you go over Miss Fisher's house and have unprotected sex?
Sometimes.
That's smart.
She told me out her mouth that I wasn't the baby's father.
There's another possible dad, Mr. Kern, who even gave the kid his last name. Stewart's like, see, told you. And Fisher says Kern just offered his name. Buckle up. Mr. Kern's side of the story is next.
Well, she named another potential father as the biological father, and then another man signed the birth certificate.
Which man is this?
Mr. Kern.
Mr. Kern?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's another man's name on the birth certificate. Is this true, Miss Fisher?
His name is not on the birth certificate, but my daughter does have his last name.
Mr. Kern hooked up with Fisher around the same time, but doubts he's the dad. She lied to him about another kid before. He thought her older child was his, but a DNA test said otherwise. Kern's still salty, and things are just getting messier.
That you could potentially be Kalia's biological father. Were you aware of this?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not denying that I'm not her father. She always been lying to me, you know what I'm saying? Because we already done went through this one time with an older child inboxing each other on Facebook.
It always starts with Facebook, don't it, Jerome?
Fisher drops some serious news. Her baby has a heart problem and might need surgery. Both guys start shaking their heads, saying they have no heart issues, which isn't super helpful. The judge looks like she's had enough of this circus.
The doctor says she has a hole right in the middle of her heart, and she has too much blood going to her lung. And so in 2 months, they might have to do surgery if the hole doesn't close.
Oh my goodness. Either of you gentlemen have heart issues?
No, Your Honor.
Because she deserves to know. She doesn't deserve, I don't want her to grow up 4, 5, 6 years old looking for her daddy and I don't know what to tell her.
The judge is fed up and calls everyone out for being irresponsible. She reminds them this is about a baby's health, not their drama. She's about to drop some hard truths, and honestly, they need it.
When I look at this beautiful little girl and then needing an answer from me that I can't give because I was irresponsible, and now her health may be affected because of that, and the reason why I'm going so hard on you all is because you're still up and you admitted it in court today. It It has been determined by this court. Mr. Kern, you are not the father.